Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Mahfuzul Haq. Today's topic is about study in Finland from the perspective as a foreigner. I have two guests with me. One is Mr. Isa Asadi. He is a software developer working in Finland and he did bachelor from Finland. And I have another guest is Kome Afre. He is working in Kone as a solution design owner. He has also graduated from Finland. So if you didn't subscribe my channel, please subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell. And if you like my video, please thumbs up. Okay. So I will come to our guest. Yeah. So Kwame, I will start with you. Can you make a small introduction about yourself?
Well, thank you, Mafus. As you already mentioned, so I'm originally from Ghana, and then I moved to Finland in 2018 or 2008 to be specific, and studied business information technology at Laria, graduated and started working for a small medium company. And currently, as you already mentioned, I'm working at Kone as a solution designer.
Thank you, Kwame.
Thank you.
Isa, can you give a small details about yourself?
Okay. First of all, hello, and I'm Isa, and originally from Iran. I've been living and studying in Finland since 2008, and I graduated from a bachelor degree in 2016, and currently I'm working as a software developer in one of the uh, companies in Tampere, city of Finland.
Thank you, Isa, for the introduction. Okay, I will come to Kwame
Yeah.
with questions about study in Finland or some other question regarding life in Finland. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kwame, first question to you. How did you know about Finland before you arrive here?
Well, thanks, Mafus. I didn't actually know anything about Finland. The only thing I knew was that a friend of mine that I attended the same college with in Ghana was actually by at the time sort of was studying here. He wasn't actually a friend, but it was a friend of my friend. So she had already informed the friend that okay, Finland education is free, and I happened to be studying with the same friend in the same university in Ghana. So he also informed me, and when I got to know about it, it was like some few days to the deadline of the application. So I decided to try. It was free, and at that time I was paying a huge amount in Ghana. So once I had the free, I just jumped on it. And of course, I also wanted to study IT. So at the time, I was studying mathematics. So I immediately jumped on it, applied, and took the exams. And then in 2018, I was here in Finland studying BIT.
Great. Thank you, Kwame.
Yep.
So I'll come to Isa with a question. So Isa, what is your opinion about study in Finland in general?
Mm, my idea studying in Finland is very nice and one of the best opportunities that I had. And some reasons that I have for this is that Finnish education system is one of the best in the world, and continuously for some years it's between first three best in the world. That's one of the reasons, and there are around 400 English taught degrees in Finland in 13, almost 13 universities and 22 uh, uh, universities of applied sciences.
Applied science, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know this information. Thanks
Yeah,
for this
actually,
information.
you're welcome. Actually, maybe my this information are not up to date. These are some information that I knew maybe last year or a year before that, but maybe later. Lately, there are more even. Every year, they are getting more degrees and more universities or things which are trying to get students from abroad. So if you are a EU citizen, like in one of the countries which are in EU, the education is completely free. But starting from 2018 or 17, studying in Finland also
there is
become,
tuition fees.
yes, with tuition fee. But still that tuition fee is affordable for most of the students who are planning to come to Finland. And one of the other things is that studying in Finland is relaxed and independent, and the universities are providing you all of the opportunities and possibilities to be successful. Uh, and that's why they are one of the best in the world. And the other thing is studying in Finland is good that in Finland there is a high demand of university graduated professionals. It means if you study in Finland, you have high possibility of getting jobs. But it doesn't mean that, but it doesn't mean that getting job is easy. No, you have high possibility to get, but you need some to fulfill some of the skills or some of, for example, most of the companies require Finnish language skills and some doesn't require, depending on the in what field you're trying to get job. And some other things like students have some benefits in like discounting the public transportation or restaurants and flights, those things. And of course, in Finland, there are some house renting companies which are government-based, which supporting students to get the like flat to live without like any benefit on them. So if you rent a flat from some private people or private companies, of course the rent is higher than if you rent a if you rent a flat from HOAS, which is Helsinki opiskelija asuntosäätiö. So that's
Student housing.
abbreviation of it, yes.
Okay.
Or from Vasa.
Okay.
And of course, the students has a possibility to eat for very cheap price at universities. And if we addition to these things which are related to study, the Finland itself is one of the safest countries and to live, and as a environment in Finland, it's very clean one, and for life easiness in Finland, for somebody who comes from abroad, we can tell that mostly all of Finnish are talking English.
Yeah, mostly.
So you don't have the difficulty of language in Finland.
Yeah.
So I'd like to mention these as my opinion or idea about studying in Finland. You have this possibility.
Thank you, Isa. So I will come back to Kwame. So Kwame, my question is, do you think student can get professional jobs in business sector after graduation?
Thank you, Mafus, for the question. Well, as Isa already mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities in Finland. But then, of course, even in the IT sector, sometimes you need a language. So yes, in business, I would say yes, but then, of course, you need a language, mainly because, well, depending, for example, if you are with business, mostly you'll be dealing with Finnish customers, unless maybe because if you are in, let's say, support or marketing or something, you'll be dealing mostly with the Finnish, or maybe accounting. If you want to be like accountant, in most cases, those might be in the Finnish language, of course, unless you a few cases where maybe you will get like an international company in Finland. But if you
Yeah.
are working with Finnish companies, then in most cases, the language is a requirement. So once you are able to satisfy that one, that is possible. And these days also, I think before, there was a centralized way of uh, unemployed graduates where you put in, like, you go and register that you are looking for a job after your graduation, and probably it's taking long. These days, they have sort of decentralized that, and the
Okay.
cities are taking up that job. So, for example, if you register there and you are living in Espoo, then they just transfer your this into Espoo. So then it's you're dealing with Espoo City. They have also set up like kind of a unemployment, highly educated unemployment graduate, for example, where you'll be able to deal with them and easily get a job. So, and of course, they also have like a program where even after your graduation, they can have like a 6 months program for you, where they will train you or give you to a company to sort of become like a graduate training, but they will still pay you, and then from there you can sort of develop a plan how you want to get into the job market, and they can help you to get that there. So I would say yes, but it all depends on the effort you put in to get a job.
So Kwame, thank you, and Isa, I will come back to you. So
Yeah.
Isa, I will ask you, what did you face more difficult during your study life,
Mm, how can I say? If I compare the
or was
time,
it too easy for you?
not too easy,
Okay.
because I can tell that's because of the study. How can I say? The education system of Finland. It
Yeah.
doesn't put the pressure on the student mostly. Uh, they tell you you should learn and be skilled. It doesn't matter how you do it. So they give, for example, a very nice possibility is like you can take exams 3 times. So you go to the first exam, and if you don't like your grade, you can retake it 2 times more. Actually, it was 3 times uh, when I was studying. I don't know the exact laws now. And my first 6 months or 1 year study was the most difficult part of my study, if I tell by period. And the reason for that one is that I went to study from work life after 6 or 6.5 years,
Okay.
and adapting to the study life and Finnish education system was challenging for me. But after that, after adapting, it was very easy for me because I liked what I studied, and I really enjoyed it. And that helped me. So I didn't feel any
Yeah,
difficulty.
I think that's the
Uh,
main point, to enjoy
yes.
what you are
Yeah.
doing.
Yes. And the second difficult part was finding the job
Okay.
and finding thesis work to write my thesis. I remember that most of the students, when they are in the fourth year, uh, they are feeling difficulty in finding thesis work, and I
I
was
think
one
it
of
was
them as
same for
well.
me as
Yeah,
well.
so that was
Well,
all
I
about
will
the
ask
difficult
another
parts.
question to you, Isa.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
uh, is it difficult to work and study together? So, when you studied, did you work and study at a time? Was it difficult
Y-
to do?
uh, Not much difficult, but if I didn't have to work, that was better. So I can tell something like this. Uh, First, in my previous explanation, I told that I was working, and then I went to the study life, and my work was physical work. And then after starting my university study, I continued studying. I remember that in the morning I was going to classes, and in the evening I was going to the company to work. And of course, it consumes lots of energy from you, and you get tired. You cannot focus on some studies, but uh, that helps you to support your life. So you don't put pressure on your family or your parents in the home country. So to support your life here. So in my idea, working and studying is not difficult because with the part-time work, in my idea, you can uh, support your life in Finland.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Isa. I will go back to Kwame. So, Kwame, your question is can you tell in short about your degree in Finland?
Well, so as I mentioned earlier, I studied business information technology. So mainly, the main objective of the course at the time was how to sort of help businesses leverage um, the benefit of IT to sort of increase productivity. So if I should enter into any business, we look at their workflow, how they are working. I could say, okay, maybe you're doing this thing manually. Can you
Okay.
sort of integrate IT this area to improve your productivity? So their focus wasn't actually mainly to become a programmer. However, what I noticed was also that in Finland, the study itself was much more practical. So
Okay.
only maybe 30% or every course you take, you have maybe 40% theory and then 60% practical, which is based on projects. So they had really sort of links with the companies and the city. And every course you see that they are bringing real life situation project from the city and from companies. So if I'm studying, let's say, I will just give you a typical example. We're studying service design, service design innovation. So there was a national park in Espoo, for example. Then they have a project that, okay, as part of this course, you're supposed to design a new service for the park.
Okay.
So actually, and then at the end of the course, you have company, the reps from the company coming in for you to present the ideas, and then it builds on that. So the universities are actually also and the universities and the courses are built to also uplift the city itself. So all the problems in the city is being actually tackled by the school at the same time. So that's also one thing I noticed, that the course. So when you are done, you are actually built for the job market. You are not learning things that are archaic or old. The courses content also, I completed 2013. I can tell you now, if you go back to the school, all the course content probably is 90% change.
Okay.
So they are always changing the course content to see the job market. That's also one thing I noticed, which was really good. And it keeps on. So you never go into a course and it's like you are learning things that are not needed in the job market. So you always come out, I would say, prepared, because the school is always connected with the companies and they are always doing research to see what is needed with the companies. And that's what they offered at the school. So for me, it was really fantastic studying here in Finland. And as Isa mentioned already, Finland education is top notch. And if you study here, even if you don't get a job in Finland, I think anywhere you go, Europe or other continents, job you'll be like if you apply for job, it's easy to get.
Nice. Okay. So, Kwame, can you also answer another question with this
Yeah.
one? So, what do you think? What is the current job situation in Finland?
Well, I will talk on the IT side because that's where I probably
Okay.
my destiny. So just was it 2 weeks ago or a month, I had we had a kind of a job search workshop with Expo City. Now they showed really good statistics about the IT field. Actually, there were the statistics they showed, it was almost all the field. There was a lot of job needed there, but of course, every field there's a job needed, but there's also a lot of job applications. But then when you look at the IT side, there was a lot of job availability, but applications was also maybe half of it, which
Okay.
means it leaves more room in that field for people who are in the IT field. And in general, there was a lot of jobs in Finland in that case. But of course, now currently we look at the COVID as well, which is also making things a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. True.
without it, I would say that in general, job situation in the employer, like kind of graduate, highly educated side is good. Immigrants is always a bit difficult if you don't know the language, which is always the case. But then if you are able to study, of course the language is not the major thing there in this case. Your competency is also
For
there,
IT
which,
sector, I think is
yeah, for the IT
for IT
sector. So
sector.
you're confident, your kind of competency needs to be there, and then the language. And of course it depends on the kind of job you're applying for. If you study your, as Isa mentioned already, most of the courses, if you come here, you are studying in English. So you yourself expect to work in English, which is the case. The language is mainly needed in some jobs, or in some cases, it's just for communication. You go to coffee, you need to communicate with your colleagues. So it's needed in some jobs, like if you are working in the IT field and you are in the support, for example, which means that customers who are calling are mostly Finnish people,
Okay. Yeah.
and they would
True.
like to speak Finnish with you.
Yeah.
Even after that, you may have to write maybe tickets to maybe development team or something, but the communication side. So all the time, the job field or the job is a key. So somebody will say, if I'm to talk, I will say that, okay, you don't need, because I don't speak Finnish, but I've been working in Finland. It's because of where I'm working and the kind of companies I've also worked in. Most, I think, from graduation, all the companies I've worked in are more international. They have
Okay.
branches outside Finland. So then I communicate outside more, and that doesn't require me to use the Finnish. But then, if even when we go to lunch and things like that, it becomes a challenge. So it's always good to learn the language and know your staff, because the competency level needs to be there, that you know your staff. In some jobs, I know that if you go to interview and you're able to prove beyond all doubt that your competency level is there, then the language will be secondary. But if you go and it's 50-50, the language will always be uh, an excuse for you, that hey, you need to be the
So
language.
you
But I
need the
think
skill. You
exactly
need
the
the skill.
skill is
Yeah.
there. And I think here, as I already mentioned, the school, if you put your mind to it, put in a little bit effort, you will come out and you are more confident
And
to
you can get the job.
exactly.
Okay. Isab, I will come back to you. So, what kind of jobs student can do during their study or student life? Can you tell something about this?
Yeah, sure.
Or I
I will
will I
share.
will mention like what type of job they can find if you
Okay.
can mention.
I will mention some examples that my friends and the people who I know, they were doing those jobs. If you have some previous skills in the field that you're studying, that will help you to get a part-time job even in the field that you're studying. For example, I remember we had
Professional job.
we had one friend who had one degree in his home country, and with some months work experience, he got programming job
Is
in
it
one of
internship
the
or just
uh,
he got the
in
job?
that part, yeah, he got the part-time job, and
Okay.
after for example, during the summers he was working full-time, and during the academic year he was studying. He was working just part-time to because he needed to attend the courses as well. But from the other side, if you don't have previous knowledge and work experience, you have some service jobs. Like I knew some people who were working in the postie, some people were working in printing
Posti means
companies.
postal service. You mean this
Yes, and postal
paper?
service. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I told
yeah.
it in
It's in
Finnish.
Finnish, so I think
Yeah.
many people could get like, what is this? Yeah. So
Yes,
it's postal service.
some people are working in printing companies. So, for example, some newspaper printing that during the night or in the evening shifts.
Yeah.
I knew some people who were working in cleaning companies.
Okay.
So depending what kind of job you get and if
And
you
also
have
this food
okay,
delivery job is getting
food,
Yeah,
popular.
yes,
food
these
delivery is
days are
now
Yeah.
on top notch.
on top notes. And of course, depending if you're lucky or not and what kind of job you can get.
Okay.
But as Kwame told, since there is a minimum salary for works that people do in Finland, you will get paid maybe minimum 10 euros per hour. And that's very nice one. And with the part-time job, you can get enough money to live in Finland.
Yeah.
And of course, uh, it might affect your study not as much as that your study goes bad or you cannot continue. Uh, but we can tell that if you spend your some of your time in working, it might affect your study maybe 10% or 5%. And of course, you can manage it if you're a little bit active.
Okay. So I will come back to Kwame. So Kwame, what do you think about living in Finland as a foreigner?
Well, thanks once again. I remember when as Isa mentioned, I first landed here. It was really cold, and it took me also like a year just to adjust because I was coming from,
Okay.
20 degrees to 25 degrees, and then I landed in September, and it was really unbelievable. But then I think most of the things Isa already mentioned is safe. I mean, if you move to any place, you want to make sure that you can walk at any time without harassment and uh, like just
Yeah.
feeling safe. So in Finland, I mean, you can walk 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock outside without having like feeling that you are a foreigner. Um, since I've been here over, let's say, was it what 10 years? I don't remember how many times maybe I have been stopped by police or something to say, hey,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some places every minute you walk and then you are being stopped. So it's saved
So
here.
you mean like some other countries?
In some other countries.
Yeah.
In terms of study, um, basically, as Isa also mentioned, depending on your country. In my country, for example, you can't be at a university and be working like even 5 hours a day. Well, you not even get a job, but then even if you get, it's going to be difficult. Here, you can fail one course over and over, and then you can still rewrite and pass.
Yeah.
Uh, if I compare in my country, for example, if you are at a university, there is this, like, let's say,
So
English
you mean
course, even
you mentioned Ghana? Are you
Ghana
comparing with
example.
Ghana? Okay.
Exactly. If you are at the university and let's say you fail, let's say you are doing your major is mathematics, so
Okay.
you are not actually particularly in, like, English is not your distance, but it's you need to pass it. If you fail it 1 2, you'll be kind of kicked out of the university.
Oh, that's
I
bad.
think the third time, if you fail, you'll be kicked out. So you have to. So it doesn't really sort of, maybe that's not where I'm majoring, but because of this, I can be kicked out. But here is flexible. You can even fail 3 times and
It
still take
doesn't
it
matter.
again. It doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
main
Yeah.
thing is at the end you have the will to learn and pass. Again, there is this room for you to support yourself. So if your parents have taken care of you from all the way from uh, primary all the way to high school, you finish at the university,
Graduation. Yeah.
you are able to work a little bit to support yourself and take the load from them. And Finland, if you want, I mean, now the things have changed that okay, you're paying fees, but even with the fees, if you get a job like 5 hours, you can still manage to pay your fees and study without having to put the
As
burden
a
on your
student, you
parent.
can work 25 hours per week.
25 hours a week,
So he
and that,
says like 100 hours per month.
yeah, and even if you get like the lowest job, you'll be paid, let's say, 10 euros an hour, and that can get you mostly 1,000 euros a month. You pay your distance and still save
Yeah.
some for your for your fee. So in general, living in Finland as an immigrant or as a student, for me, I haven't been to other countries, but I've of course had a talk with other colleagues in other places. It's easy. Um, Language is one, but if you are studying in English, you get to talk to people almost all the time in English. So it also makes it easy for you to communicate and later maybe study the language. I know, for example, in Germany, if you go there, you need to study, maybe devote 1 year to study the language
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you can actually, exactly.
Some other
Here you,
countries in Europe,
exactly, exactly.
they need
So
to learn language first.
exactly. But
Yeah.
here you come immediately. Once you speak English, you are studying, and alongside you learn the language. So in general, my general perspective about Finland, I mean, if you move to Europe to study, Finland should be probably your top number one country to consider.
Okay, so I needed to ask you another question, and I
Yeah.
think you have already answered that.
Oh,
So
okay.
my
That's
question was, is it recommended for students to apply for higher study in Finland? Because in current situation, there is tuition fees,
hmm
and is quite high tuition fees, like
yeah,
6,000 euro to 15,000 euro, depending
yeah.
on the university and on the subject or program.
hmm
So I was thinking, like, is it recommended for students to apply for Finland for higher education?
I would say yes. Well, let's think about it. First of all, Finland, if you are looking at the top countries with top education, Finland is part. As Isa said, maybe 1 to 10, Finland is there. Okay. Aside that, then then have to consider other factors. The security is good. If you are living in the US, for example, you can be shot at any time. It's not,
Yeah,
it's not a, you can be shot at any time. Yes, of course, depending on where you are coming from. So
yeah,
um, security is good. Um, the
happiest country, I think.
happiest country. There's a lot of things to be proud about. So
Number one last few
number
years.
one, everything in terms of like now, if you think of the COVID came, and in some countries they have to adjust to this Zoom thing a whole lot. Finland, even before then, I mean, uh, the country governmental services are already much more ahead in terms of um, having digitalized. So you don't have to actually be when it went off social service, education, everything. They were already in the system,
Yeah,
and it went on. Even in at workplace, I haven't been at work since last year March. I've been working from home, and it's because the systems were in place. So for me, again, if you're looking to raise family, you have to consider that after
yeah,
your studies, maybe you want to raise family. What is so good that your children will go to school in a safe environment. Also, going forward, if they are going to university, it's free.
yeah. I think this education is free for childs or
Exactly. And even
okay.
if you come from outside, and then you stay, maybe you finish your first degree, and then you want to continue after the first degree. If you get a job and then you change your status from student permit to working permit, then you
Yeah,
can go to the university, your master's for free. You don't have to pay.
yeah,
So the only time you have to pay is your first entry. Once you graduate, then even if you come in and then you are lucky and you get a job at the same time studying, and you are able to change your status, then you then immediately you are not paying the fee anymore.
okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so one more question to you, Isa. So,
Sure.
how to find professional job after graduation? in IT sector. Can you give some idea like how can a student find professional job in IT sector?
Okay. Uh, First of all, I should tell that we told that studying in Finland is easy and you have all opportunities. So it doesn't mean that getting job in Finland is easy. Uh, we have explained many things with Kwame and all of them are mentioned, but I can go through some bullet points like
Yeah,
uh,
sure.
after you're applying a job, you need to apply for many places, many companies, many places that are have notification on the websites, their own website or job hiring websites.
LinkedIn, like LinkedIn or
Yes, LinkedIn. Or in Finland, there are some like to a Paikkahaku or Mall or some
Mall
others.
Pistefi. Okay.
Yes, and you need to apply, send application for them, your CV, application letter, or explain what you know, and then you might get interview. And in the interview, you will be asked some questions of your experiences, your skills. And one of the important thing is that when you go to interview and the evaluation that the company does on you is not based just only on your
Okay.
study grades. Uh,
So how does they
Mainly,
evaluate?
they evaluate your job experience, your knowledge. Uh, in some software companies, I know that they even give you some small programs to write, some coding, to really see if you're capable of coding and to uh, evaluate your programming skills. Actually, that happened for me in my current job that I'm working in. The first interview, they went through some general questions, and I was invited for the second interview. And in the second interview, I wrote a console application for doing some basic things, not
Okay.
exactly the basic thing. They wanted me to see if I'm really
If
experienced
he
in
okay.
those. Yes.
Okay.
And after that, you're competing with applicants. So between the applicants, they will compare the applicants, their skills, and of course, the amount of the salary that you're requesting, and all of these facts are uh, like taken to account when evaluating your application. And most of them, as Kwame told, they require Finnish
Skill.
language.
Okay.
Yes, but not in everywhere. As Kwame mentioned, it depends in what department and
Yeah.
what part of the company you're going to work. If you're
And what
going to
kind of
be,
company? If it is multi
yes,
international company or
yeah,
local
many
company.
factors.
Yeah.
Like the company that I'm working is a Norwegian company, but they have some branches in Finland, and I'm working in one of the Finnish branches of it. But
Okay.
the official language of the section, the department that I'm working on, is Finnish. So
Okay.
all of the communications, all of the tickets that comes from the customer, all of those specifications which comes, they are in Finnish.
Okay.
And since I understand Finnish, of course, that's not a problem for me. But if somebody doesn't know Finnish, so working in this work, it will be difficult. And of course, from the interview, they won't accept you as a like to that company. Uh, but if your work, if the position that you're gonna work, you're gonna be in contact with the customers, which are Finnish,
Mm.
Then you need to
so
learn
you need
Finnish.
Finnish language. But
Okay.
mostly in programming works or IT works, since you're not directly in contact with the customer, maybe in 70% or 60% of the times, the Finnish language is not a problem,
Okay.
depending on the situation. And as I told, there are many websites. You can go to those places, look for the open positions, or even the known companies, they have their open positions in their own website.
Yeah.
You can get noticed and apply for those. But as I told, the students should try, and don't give up. For my experience, I submitted or I sent around 70 or 80 job applications to different companies in different time. And I got 3 interviews, and from those 3 interviews, I got the job that I had in my fourth year, and I did my thesis for that company. So imagine the
So
competition.
you have to apply so many companies,
So
and
many
Yeah.
companies.
so it
And
could be
something
like you
funny
don't
thing
get
that,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
something funny that even after getting a job and for some period, maybe 6 months or 7 months, I was still getting the response from for my applications. Sorry, this job position is fulfilled with somebody
Yeah.
else. Sorry for that.
Okay.
I think you have
Yeah.
also faced that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
problem.
So
That was
thank you,
all.
Isa. So I'll come back to Kwame.
Yeah,
So Kwame, I will ask similar type of question, of course.
yeah.
Was it difficult for you to get a professional job in Finland after you
Well,
graduated from Finland?
okay. So like Isa was saying, it depends on you. And I think I even got a job before my graduation. Actually, I was working in maybe my second company before my graduation. So what I did, and I think it's good that if people you start to build your network from whilst you are in school,
From
um,
university?
at the university.
Yeah.
I did, even though you are required to do one internship at the university, I did three. And all of them built me because I went to three interviews. So in all of them, one of them, I didn't even get the internship, but the other I got. So it built my confidence. And then in the third one, the first two I did within the school actually. So the third one, I applied to a company, a small medium company that probably had no need for a foreigner at the time. So, but then it depends on how you have to be also be innovative when you want this kind of job. I had used their product. It was an e-learning company, and then I knew that I use it to learn programming. So I wanted to do market research for them in Africa for my thesis, and at the
Okay.
same time also learn from them. So during my internship, I did a market research for them, and they were happy with it. I even traveled with them to Ghana and Nigeria, and then we started a project. So after that, my 6 months was off, and then I got hired whilst I was studying. So
Nice.
then I worked with them for 8 months. At the same time, I didn't sort of say, okay, I have a job, so that's it. I joined this Hera mentoring. It was a Helsinki area. They were organizing a mentoring program for international students. So I joined that one. And then my mentor happened to be the CEO of the second company I work for, WebRepo, where you are working now.
Yeah.
So during the mentorship, he noticed, okay, probably I could have a future at their place. So they invited me for an interview. I went for the interview, and then it started from there. So now you realize that all the two jobs that I have was through network.
Okay.
And then in the third, while I was at the web repo, a colleague of mine also left. And then later I was there, and then he said, hey, Kwame, I've seen this job at our place. It's interesting. Probably I think it will fit you. And then I went for interview. That one, I got it. Now, one thing I want to say is that you could have invited the different people to this meeting. You have different network, right? But you
Yeah.
invited me and Isa. So it's not just our name. You didn't invite us up because of our name or because of the network we had. It's because you know our competence level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True.
let's not, people should not know you because they know you. So when you create this kind of network, they should know you for what you know or your competency. What can you do? Because you can have 10 people or 20 people or 100 people or thousands in as in your network on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
If they don't know you that this is what you can do, you will never be referred. So don't just get to know people, but let them get to know you because of your competency, what you can do. And I think that will is really a point that you will get a job referral from people because they know what you can do.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
did in all the three jobs, it has been network and how, but network, even though it's network, but they knew me of what I can do. And that's why they were referring me. So for me, it wasn't difficult, but it doesn't mean that it's easy, as Isa mentioned. You need to put in a lot of effort. And I did a lot of that whilst I was studying, and that helped me. So you have to be innovative. Sometimes you are thinking about how to get thesis. There are a lot of companies in Finland that might be want to go outside. Start from a small, medium company, and your first problem is getting the first job in Finland. If you
Yeah.
get it, even if it's a small company, getting to the next one is easy.
Yeah.
And I think also like most, if you find jobs in LinkedIn, you find them in more fee, like the unemployment. Most of these jobs, we call them like hidden jobs, or kind of they've been sometimes been given out already, but just for formalities. So getting somebody to refer you is always a key.
Okay.
You you can apply for these LinkedIn jobs a lot, but sometimes they've given the job already internally, but by law they have to post it.
Yeah.
So getting people to refer you is really powerful. And as Isa said, one of my colleagues mentioned to me, he is a Finn and he had worked for almost 6 years of experience, and then he has to make 200 applications to get a job, another job. So that tells you that um, it's not like you just write two applications, then you get a job. You need to put in a lot of effort. So that tells you that if you're an immigrant, you need to put in a lot, and
Yeah.
you need to sort of customize your application, not just sending the same application to everybody, every application you see. So you need to be innovative, be consistent with your application. Don't give up. Those general when he said even when he was working, he was getting those one. I got a lot as well. So you will say, oh, this time you were not selected. We have to proceed with other applicants. Those
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
general emails that will
General
come. So don't
terms.
just allow that to bring you down. Continue applying. I think that should be the spirit.
Okay, thank you, Kwame, and thank you, Isa. So, friends, I think this discussion will help you to understand if you want to study in Finland, if you want to come in Finland for your future living. And okay, if you like this video, please thumbs up in my video, and if you didn't subscribe, please subscribe my video. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Take care and bye bye.